now, if I wasn't clear on that up here.
Oh, sure. Good to see you, Vi. We're hosting a listening session. It was hosted by members of the civic community, civic organizations. It was open to their members and associates of the companies they represent.
And what were we able to get across? Any developments that you can share that are new at this point?
You know, what I would tell you is we primarily focus on continuing to educate and put the right information, factual information into the system. We didn't necessarily share new information, but maybe perhaps what wasn't covered in the presentation, but we talked about in the Q&A, is the continuous work and developments that are occurring on the community benefits front. So I can speak for the Kansas City Royals. From an education perspective, we're focused on ensuring that the Kansas City Public Schools suffers no revenue loss, that we continue to invest in the urban core, providing access to literacy and programs. We're focused on a community benefits for the Crossroads. We've been working very diligently with the Crossroads Community Association to ensure that it focuses on a number of things. First and foremost is making sure that the small businesses and tenants that are impacted by our district and development are taken care of financially, both the tangibles and intangibles. That includes maintaining regular communication with those businesses. We are committing to an investment in the Crossroads Community Improvement District with initial funding and payments to continue to support that and ensure that that gets up and running. Safety is important, ensuring that the infrastructure and parking, construction mitigation, all of those things will be addressed. And also the authenticity and perseverance of the neighborhood, ensuring that artists and entertainers will continue to flourish and live in that community for a long time. And lastly is the county community benefits agreement. The Royals have been unwavering in their commitment to that, and I think you'll see us in the next couple of days announce a historic community benefits agreement.
Obviously, the labor and housing committee announced they left the table. Do you speak to that portion of the community benefits agreement?
You know, it's honestly, it's hard to tell who's at the table and who's not. What we have to think about is what does Jackson County and Greater Kansas City need? What are the needs of the community? Our community benefits agreement will address inclusivity, diversity, and equity. So we'll focus on minority and women participation goals and workforce goals, ensuring that there's workforce development and training, making sure that we have right educational resources, healthcare, childcare, affordable housing is a significant piece. So we're not changing what we're committed to. We will invest in that, and we'll continue to make sure that all people benefit from our community benefits agreement.
How disruptive was KC 10 and 7 in the listening session?
KC Tennis, they had a handful of people that were here today. It was unfortunate that a few loud voices muffled the opportunity for others to educate. And what we have to make sure it happens is that those few loud voices don't distract our community from doing something transformational for the next 40 years.
Last week, Brooke Sherman said that he's going to be trying to reach out to all the businesses in the Crossroads. I spoke to one this morning, said that they're in the demolition zone, that hasn't been contacted by the Royals. He's reached out multiple times. Also, a property owner that says they haven't talked business with anybody. So, you know, when you say that they're reaching out to the Royals, trying to make community business agreement with the Crossroads, you know, are you guys being true on that, or what?
I'm not going to speak for Brooke Sherman, but I participated with tenants last Wednesday, a meeting that Jill Coxon organized. There was at least 12 tenants. I want to put a little bit of information. Each one of those tenants matters. We have a great amount of empathy for them. There are 16 tenants that are impacted. 9 of those are under the same landowner. We have been in active conversations, remain in active conversations on an individual basis, both with the owners and the tenants. We'll continue to do that. We've explained where we'd like to support them. So specifically, tenant lease or lease tenant improvements. We've talked about displacement costs, relocation costs, subsidizing rents. The tenants, we've been very clear that the more information they can share with us on an individual basis, the better we're going to be able to address them, both their short-term needs and certainly as they get up and running a new business. So I'm speaking from the truthful perspective. I participate in those meetings and will continue to participate in them.
Sarah, where will
Last question.
What will be the city and state contribution to this project?
I'm not going to talk about that because everything right now is contingent upon the April 2nd vote passing.
So the voters won't know that before they go to the ballot?
What I'll tell you is that the Royals are committed to putting private capital into the stadium. We're committed to $1 billion of private capital in the stadium district, and we are in conversations with the state and the city to support both through federal funds, infrastructure, and you know,
So if we
Thanks,
get
guys. No, we're
some-
good. Thanks, man. Thanks, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Mark, yeah, folks go to the polls tomorrow for no excuse absentee voting 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
How you guys feeling confident this goes
Yeah, we
fine?
feel good. Look, it's the democratic process. People should vote. We hope they do. And we hope they listen to the facts and they recognize the partnership and the investment that the Kansas City Chiefs have been for the last 50 years and the pride we brought to this community as well as the economic impact that we have.
Mark, what's the status of the lease? Do you anticipate that voters will get to see that before April 2nd?
I can't answer the question on if the voters get to see that. That's really up to the county and the Sports Authority. I would say the status of the lease is we are extremely close. I can confidently say that this lease will be a much more beneficial lease to the county than our last lease. We have made significant compromises in addition to the $200 million that we've talked about in the past. This lease will be better. So we are staring at a situation where this county and this region will have a better lease than we had in 2006. We'll have a better leveling up to historic community benefits agreement than we had, better than we had in 2006. We'll invest millions and millions of dollars every single year between now and 2031, keeping this building upright, and then do it again from 31, hopefully beyond 25 years. And on top of that, we'll invest another $300 million to renovate this building and bring it up to speed to be one of the most impressive and exciting venues in all of sports. So that's what we're willing to do, and that's what we're committed to doing, and we feel like we've done that to this point. We're excited to get through the next few days and then the next few weeks.
How much money do you think you guys will get from the city and state for your $800 million project?
Yeah, we've been pretty crystal clear on we're going to put $300 million into this project. It's an $800 million project, so $500 million is the balance of that. We've had great conversations with the state, obviously. The state is going to wait until April 2nd to make any decisions and commitments. We feel good about where we are there. We've had good conversations with the mayor and exactly what our expectations are there. I would say this, that the bulk of that money will be state funding and not city funding. But when you get into the complex way that these things work, it's about infrastructure and who covers what, who's responsible for what. But I think the easy answer is it's an $800 million project. 300 of that will be privately funded from the Hunts, and then 500 will be a balance paid either from the sources of either the city, the state, or other government sources.
Mark, are you going to be out and about like every day between now and the election, or what kind of strategy do you have to that? And for lack of a better term, what's the enduring message going to be that you keep trying to get across?
Yeah, I think the key message, and yes, I will be out and about. Yes, we will be out and about. We're going to do a lot more just getting in front of people and hopefully getting the facts out. This has been a very educational experience for me in the sense that you realize that when you have opposition, the opposition is going to have its messaging. I actually really respect the democratic process. I think it's good that we can have these debates. It would be nice if we could actually debate it, though. And earlier today, we weren't actually able to debate. We were able to listen at a portion of that meeting. But look, everyone has the opportunity to vote for their conscience, vote what they believe, what they value. Our proposal is it's going to be the best deal we've ever done for this county. Our proposal is that we've proven to be not only a good partner, but a willing investor in this county. And our proposal includes the fact that this year alone, we had $1 billion economic impact on this region. We employed 5,600 people. Those people made the compensation income is $473 million last year. We're a big part of the city, and we're committed to continue that. And we actually aren't asking for more; we're asking for less.
Mark, Manny Barca had said something, tweeted something yesterday just about the CBA status, and said the time was running out for the chief. Just wanted your response to that.
Yeah, been a lot of very intense conversations over the last 24, 48, 72 hours. I feel like we're making great progress. I think we're really close. Hopefully in the next few days, we'll be able to announce some of the specifics, but we feel very good about where we are as CBA.
Mark, you have made it very clear that your goal is to stay here at Arrowhead, but you also have said some things in the past that if voters don't vote yes, that you are willing to look elsewhere. Some voters are saying that's a scare tactic. What do you say to those folks?
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that side of it and how somebody might take it that way. I think the facts are pretty clear. We're about to agree to a lease that is much better than our current lease. So we've made the lease better and more beneficial for Jackson County and all Jackson County residents. We're about to announce a historic CBA, which is much better than the last CBA. We're about to commit to investing $300 million in this community asset owned by the county to keep it up and running and viable for the next 50 years. We're about to commit to invest, last year, $23 million on an annual basis, and that number will change based on the costs, but to keep this building upright. We're going to do all those things, and what we're asking for in return is nothing new. If somebody comes back and says they don't agree with that, and enough people vote no, then we're in a situation where we've got to look at that and say, well, that's the deal we offered, and that wasn't good enough. What is? And what are our other options? That's what you got to look at, the other options.
Are your other options outside of Kansas City?
So the other options would have to include places outside of Kansas City, Missouri. Yes.
Did you expect KC tenants to interrupt the listening session like they did?
I'm relatively new to this, and so I wasn't surprised. It seemed a bit scripted. It seems like they've done this before. And my ask at the point was, you absolutely have the right in a democratic society to have your opinion and have your beliefs. You should vote that way. That's the beauty of democracy. Our pitch is we are actually really good partners. The beauty of democracy is you can also support us. It's up to you.
Couple more.
How many, like, the media was not able to go and see the community business session today, so how many people from the public showed up, and why weren't we allowed to go see what was going on in there today, Mr. Donovan?
I can't answer the second part of that question. I would just give you that it was a group of 30 or 40 people.
You feel like it was mostly
Last
productive
question.
conversations before the tenants interrupted, or were there some new stuff, new concerns from you?
I would say that it was mostly productive after. I think I was halfway through my first answer when I got interrupted, and they stood up and read from a script, and then let me start again, and then another person stood up and read from a script, and then let me start again, and then another person stood up and read from a script, and I was tempted to interrupt our moderator and just say, why don't you just all go, read, let's hear what you have to say, and then we can have a discussion, but there wasn't a real interest in having a discussion.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks, Mark.
Yep.